Uh, hey, it's Nick Parris, internet sensation Nick Parris, and thank you everybody for coming. And you and I have known each other for a long ass time.
I know. Yeah. Holy crap. I'm just realizing that
Yeah, all the way back in like
since
Brandissimo.
2008.
Yeah, before
Yeah.
either of us were like in the animation industry, or I think like
The
before
big dog.
the big studio. Yeah. So you want to
Yeah.
like introduce yourself, talk about where you are, and I'm sure so many people know you, but just in case.
Sure. Yeah, I'm basically so today I'll be talking how building an online brand can lead to finding work with me, Nick Parris. And like I said, this is to the best of my knowledge because there's so much social media out there right now. Um, so first off, who am I? I'm me, Nick Parris. But no, so just a little backstory. I am East Coast guy, Virginia, who came all the way to the West Coast. I just knew that's where the industry was, so kind of wanted to come over to this coast. And what sealed the deal is I actually won half a scholarship to college. It's a weird story, but like they had this scholarship where it was supposed to be a full ride, and I honestly think since someone else entered, they just tied us, so we'd still have to pay. Because I actually found out someone who got the full ride, and she was like, I felt like I won it by default because no one else knew about it, and no one else really knew about it. It's weird, but they kept it top secret. I found out about it through my mom, and I think after we got it, like no one else got it. They just got rid of it. So the college is like, it's the Art Institute. I don't know if you guys have heard. They've been through a lot of bad stuff, and they kind of screwed over a lot of people, and a lot of them aren't even open anymore, but whatever. It did pay off though. Like, I mean, the school I went to, I always tell people this, like, art school doesn't have to be, I mean, technically you don't have to go to art school as much anymore, especially with like specialized online courses that you can really just take to hone the skill you want to learn. But what does pay off is the networking opportunities. So like, I would have never worked at Brandissimo if I didn't meet mutual guy we know, Mark, through Art Institute. That's actually how I got the job at Brandissimo and met Jim. And then even my, like a pretty big guy in the art world, Miguel Puga, I went to school with him too. And that's what led to me also getting another job at Nickelodeon. So real quick, where and what have I worked on? I started at small studios. That's actually how I met Jim, like I said, at Brandissimo. That was a small studio. So I worked at Brandissimo. I always say Mattel, but Mattel's technically not a small studio. It's like a big corporation, but it's just, it wasn't like in the animation realm as much. It was more like building an online world. But, and then if you remember, Jim, I think you might have left Brandissimo before me. I left Brandissimo because I thought I was going to go to a Nickelodeon show called Brain Surge.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, but I found out the hard way when I got there. It wasn't Nickelodeon. It was just going to air at Nickelodeon. So I went to a Hollywood soundstage that was not Nickelodeon. And I was like really kind of disappointed. I was like, oh, wait. So I found out, yeah, you work for shows that air on networks and aren't always at the actual network to work on, if that makes sense. And then after that, yeah, I was Mattel. And then after that, I worked at this studio called Maker Studios, which focused on YouTube, which is where I learned about, I guess, social media and YouTube celebrities. It was like a huge word they kept swinging around. And this is like when YouTube first started. So like, that's when you had like, bigger, I guess, like, I don't know if they're as big now, but I guess like, I don't even remember all their names, but I remember like, it was, they were trying to get more animation and like music videos and stuff for their content. But what always kind of sucked too is they would always only thank the channel owner for the animation. So like we'd make a whole music video, this whole team, everything, and then all the comments, you'd read them and be like, oh, you did such a good job, dude, blah 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 blah. And it's like, they do know like one guy can't animate a music video, right? But
they had no credits on it at all.
Yeah, there weren't really credits on like music videos and stuff like that. It would just play and then just end. So yeah, early YouTube days, it was like a lot of people doing animation for like YouTube celebrities, but everyone thinking the YouTube celebrity did all the work. So that always kind of sucked. It wasn't until like I feel like now they're really good about it. Like they put the credits for all the artists and all that stuff in the description, and even like links to their Twitters and all that good stuff. So I was there for a little bit until they shut down the animation. And then I ironically went to the studio we were outsourcing the animation to called Cosmic Toast. which has actually made the news in Cartoon Brew and has some publicity. Sadly, it's bad publicity. It's really hard to say publicity. Because I don't know, this whole story, this guy, in short, this guy kind of took the money and ran away with it, but it was really messed up. And then after that, so the reason why I kind of bring all that up is like the show, the path to like getting to the biggest studios isn't always, I mean, sometimes it's a challenge. You really have to, work hard to get there. So right around when that happened is when I decided I was ready to be in the bigger studios. And I was like, I'm kind of done with the small studios for now. So funny enough, I ended up testing for Warner Brothers Teen Titans Go for the second time, actually. Rewind a little bit. When I was at Cosmic Toast, before it went bad, I tested for Teen Titans Go Season 1, and I really didn't know much about storyboarding because it just was new to me, and college didn't really teach me in-depth stuff. So my friend got me a test, and I did the test. I made the mistake of drawing exactly on the model. I didn't ask any questions, which was bad. She's very upset with me when I failed the test. She's like, why didn't you ask me questions? I was like, I don't know, some weird pride. So just a heads up, let you put your pride aside. If your friend helps you get a test, ask the questions that you need to ask to, make your test better. Because they're already on the show, so they know what the show creators will like. But so after failing the test the first time, I decided to actually take Rad's storyboarding class. And that's what really got me involved more in storyboarding. I learned how to storyboard more for like TV and stuff. I only got to finish half the course because my job kicked in, sadly, and I had to I couldn't finish the second half because I had a whole bunch of work. It really sucked. So the studios at Cosmic Toast was notorious for working on weekends. I told Jim, Mark, he was actually like head guy there. I was like, look, I'm taking a class. I need to know that you guys are normal hours again. He's like, yeah. We don't do weekends anymore, so don't worry about it. Literally my first week, he's like, can you come in on Saturday? And I'm like,
Jeez.
no. So after that, we had this nightmare client that just kept making us change stuff, and she was paying for all the changes, but I was not receiving the pay, of course. So I ended up only taking the first half, but that actually led enough for me to get a portfolio piece. And I'll show you my ancient work real quick. But I could kind of show you the work that came from that because I took the online course, which, once again, social media and all that kind of stuff happened. So this whole presentation here actually came from his class. And it was just doing beat boards, kind of the character designs, and then coming up with a short story.
Mm-hmm.
So even just doing this actually helped me, people start seeing my stuff. And then
they see your drawing style, they see your cutting style.
Yeah. And then it's sort of the actual boards. They're so old. So old now. But even half the class helped me push my shots to be more cinematic. So stuff like this really helped. Mm-hmm. And then so tested for it again, got the job, and then I was on Teen Titans Go season 4. Did that for a season, and then once again I was at Cartoon Network for a super hot second. Jim knows the whole story, but it was this weird 2-week thing, and then they got rid of me. And then I saw they were looking for people at DreamWorks TV, and they just needed to know the comedic timing and stuff of Teen Titans Go, but the cinematic shots of King Julian. So I was I know one of them, and I would just have to step back up to doing more cinematic stuff again. So I hit him up, explained the whole story. I gave you I think 3 tests in my Teen Titans Go reel because I was testing for an entire month. And then cool enough, got the gig. There were some hiccups in the beginning. I just sharing all being honest with this because I feel hearing how people fall down but get back up is help. I feel it helps people realize it's not always perfect, and you're gonna have to work through it. But when I was first on Trolls, it was challenging to go from flat shots to more cinematic again. So having my director Z, who Jim also knows, really helped me break back into cinematic and give me some tips and advice to get those shots in and actually make sure to reach the deadline, because that was another thing too. I was just oh, that's so crazy. But actually after picking myself back up from having that hiccup really helped me and pushed myself to be better as a storyboard artist. So I honestly looking back at my career, DreamWorks TV probably taught me the most, just because I had to go from, just flat TV funny poses to a more cinematic and really like realizing where I could be rough, where I could be clean, and just, reaching the deadlines and stuff like that. And then after that, I ended up going to Nickelodeon, where I still am now, on the show called Casa Grandes, which I think some people know, but only really know until I say The Loud House. And they're like, yeah. And then I say, it's a spinoff. And they're like, oh, I like The Loud House. And I'm like, thank you. So I was on that for like 3 seasons. And now I'm currently on a project that has been announced. There's no artwork for it, sadly, but it's called Zoki Sparklebee. And it's on also Nickelodeon. So that is where I am. That is my whole kind of SparkNotes career at the moment of where I am today. So story time, let's hop back into like, more of the social media. The reason I actually started my social media, and my social media is actually not that old. It's I started getting serious about it in 2017. The reason being, for the first time, I was going to try doing a convention, CTN. So I knew, I was like, okay, I'm going to need to sell my art and stuff. So I probably need a fan base to actually have people to sell to. So that's when I actually first started Instagram. And I remember posting my first post, just a description, no hashtags, because I didn't know what I was doing. And then like the first comment, my friend was like, Nick, you need hashtags. And so like I felt like an old man. And I was like, hashtags? It's like, yeah, like no one can find your stuff if you don't put hashtags. So that's when I learned very quickly you need hashtags. And yeah, so that's, like, and even knowing the right hashtags to put was kind of important. So that's kind of why I started social media. And then what actually blew up my social media was when I decided, like, for fun, to make a whole, like, just a compilation of like all these like storyboarding tips I was doing on their own. And I put it into a book that I put on Gumroad called Let's Learn Some Storyboarding. And I guess because like I realized what happened, and this will kind of happen to you if you want to grow your own, social media and stuff. You'll like post something and it'll get more likes than everything else. So like up until I actually put like my first storyboarding tutorial, I wasn't actually getting, like, I was getting okay likes, but it wasn't that big. But I honestly just put like one storyboarding tip one day out of the blue, because I was like, it was like this like really simple tutorial about how to make your shots more cinematic, like lowering and hiring the horizon line, and how like just doing that simple trick makes your shot more cinematic, and then adding like foreground elements and background and kind of stuff like that. And I just posted that for fun. And I was just like, I don't know, it's just that tip has always stuck with me. So I was like, why not share that knowledge? And so I posted that, like, wasn't paying attention anymore. Like, so I think most people do this. When you first start social media, you post something and you're just staring at your phone like, yes, more than one. Oh. Like, I was doing that for a while. I was like, I got 10, 11. So like, I learned to like just post, and I tell people this all the time. I post in ghosts for a little bit. I post something and then I just kind of go about my day. And then I'll like catch up to comments later. Because I feel like a lot of people, they get really anxious because they post and then they stare at it for like, okay, let's see the retweets. But I was like, no, that's stressing me out. So I would just post, ghost, go do something. So when I posted my first storyboarding thing, I like remember I posted it and I just had a busy day at work. And then I like checked my Instagram the next day and it was over 1,000 likes. And I was like, what? And then like it kept like growing from there and getting more followers and stuff. I was like, wait, what's going on? So like I was like, so then I posted another one, same thing happened, more followers, and it kept growing. And then that's when I decided, like, why don't I just compile everything I've learned and then just like put it online and they can get it. And then of course, here's it's crazy, but my friend recommended this, and even because like it took me time to compile everything, I was kind of like, don't I need to like charge people? Especially like, on Gumroad. So I was like, maybe I should set a price like $5 or something, like, maybe I should charge people. And my friend was like, no, make it free. Like, make it choose their own price. And if they want to pay you, they'll pay you. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, trust me on this. I was like, okay. So like I made it like, 0+ on Gumroad. And crazy enough, like it actually made quite a bit of money. Because like you have people like, of course you're gonna have a lot of free downloads, which is fine. I mean, I was kind of mostly just doing it to like spread knowledge, but you'll also have people who pay more than you thought they would. And it's just because like, you're helping them learn something. and they feel they should, tip you for the knowledge that you've helped them, that you've given them. So like, just a tip, if like you ever make anything kind of educational, make it 0+, and if they really want to like give you money, they will. Whereas like if you put a price on it, for some reason they buy it less, it's weird. But that's kind of like let's learn storyboarding. And also if you're interested, it's still on my Gumroad, which I'll link it at the end. But it's, if you want it, it's like I said, you only have to tip if you feel like you want to tip. Otherwise it's all yours. It's been online for like, I think going on 4 years, so it's been a while, but people are still buying it. Like it pops up in my email every now and then. So platforms you can post your media to. So like these are just kind of the basics. You have your Instagram, Twitter. This is DeviantArt's logo now. Even when I got the logo, I was like, what is that? But that's DeviantArt. And then Tumblr. Tumblr is actually still used. And then what's crazy, there are so many of them now. I can't keep up with all of them. I'll go over like a vague, like how you can use the algorithms of some, but there are so many now that you guys could post and like start growing your social medias to like potentially help you, get jobs. There's platforms for art. So these are like, you got your Patreon, Blogspot, Tumblr, Instagram, ArtStation, Twitter, DeviantArt, Facebook. I still put stuff on my Facebook, and like I'll hear from recruiters, they actually still check Facebook to help hire people. So I still post it on Facebook. Platforms for animation. Newgrounds is still used. It's funny, I haven't been on Newgrounds since like, I don't know, forever, but people are still getting animation jobs and like doing animation for people on YouTube through Newgrounds. So if you want to do animation, don't be afraid to put your stuff on Newgrounds still. YouTube's still big. Vimeo. Even showing your stuff on, this is like Twitch, even doing stuff on Twitch will help spread your name, or like, people like seeing animation get made sometimes, or the behind the scenes. So even streaming on Twitch will help you. Facebook, people put it on Facebook or do like live video. And Instagram, you can put stuff on Instagram and Twitter. It's the same thing. And then platforms for merch. The reason why I want to include merch is because like, let's say you want to go the route where maybe, you want to make your social medias your kind of your own business. You kind of need to know there's platforms to sell your merch. So like for me, I used Gumroad for my storyboarding tutorials, but there's also like DeviantArt will actually like do your prints now. So if you post something on your gallery, you can actually sell it as prints through DeviantArt. Etsy's the same, like you could take your art and put it on merch. Same with Redbubble. I use Redbubble myself. I've sold like a few stickers. I don't know, people like stickers. Pinterest is the same. Like not only does it like gather all like images by name and reference, you can click on some images and it'll take you to their shop, or just like you could just buy it through Pinterest, which is kind of interesting. And then you have Ko-fi, which is like kind of, I guess, like on the same page as Gumroad. I'm actually thinking of breaking into Ko-fi myself, just because I guess people were talking about NFTs. I don't know about NFTs, but so if you have any NFT questions, I don't know enough. I just know some of the basic knowledge why people are bad at it and why some people are cool with it. That's all I really know. You have platforms for streaming. So once again, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter, like I think recently started where it's called like you can make your own space and you can have people come in while you like, do your live streams and all that stuff and talk and all that. And then Instagram's always had like, or now they have like live Instagram. I've only done like one stream through Instagram and it was weird because I had to hold my phone the whole time. And I was like, okay. Twitch is, definitely been streaming for years. Same with YouTube. Behance, I did a little bit through Adobe. It's not very as well known. I think they're trying to be Twitch for artists, but I think it's just kind of hard because like everyone knows Twitch already. And as you'll find out, like I always tell people this, when one of your platforms gets bigger, I feel like your fan base kind of just stays there. Like even if you're like, I started a Twitter too, they're like, no, it's good. It's good. I got you on Instagram. Like you're fine. But so like me trying to stream on Twitch and Behance at the same time, most of my audience went to just Twitch. Behance was more because Adobe was sponsoring me, but they weren't happy with my hours, so they stopped sponsoring me. I was just too busy. Like it's like I can't stream 18 hours. It's just too much. And then Facebook also has like a streaming way you can do live while streaming. And this is me kind of breaking down how you can use multiple platforms to help grow your social media. So like, for example, you can start with the Instagram. This is kind of the route I kind of went. You can use Instagram to post your art, and then Twitch to stream you creating that art. And through like streaming, you can also advertise. Like you can put your past streams on YouTube, which I have not done because I'm too lazy to edit. It's a lot of work to edit. But you could do that. Like you could take your past streams, put it on YouTube, which would also help spread the word of your brand. And then later, like use that to put your art and stuff on your merchandise on Etsy. Or you could go like, let's say you're a comic book creator, you could go through Webtoon to like post your comic, and then have a Patreon to have people sub to you to like only get exclusive content that you're not showing anyone else unless they like, you know, they pay for the content and all that stuff. And then you can use Twitter to post like updates and stuff about the comic in your life and all that to get like your fan base and your community to be more involved with you. And then if you want more merchandise, you could go to Redbubble to put it on merchandise to, you know, put your comic characters on a shirt or mug and all that stuff. So that's just me kind of explaining how you can use, you know, multiple platforms to help get your brand out there. Like for example, on my Twitch page, this is like how my Twitch page looks. It's got like everything on there in one place. So when I stream, when people are like, when I'm streaming, they just click on the about, and you can actually go to different social medias I have that kind of help spread my brand. And even like my about page has like everything on it. So, you know, the Discord, you can join the Discord and be part of that community, which I think now is over 1,000 something members. I feel bad. I need to like log into Discord more and talk to them. It's just like, it's just there. But yeah, it's just like, it's just using like, you can use multiple social medias to make your other social media stronger and grow. And then just like a tip for anyone who wants to stream on Twitch, the actual growing of your Twitch channel is actually more off of Twitch. So I've gotten most people to come to my channel, like, you know, doing stuff like this or posting stuff on Instagram and Twitter and telling them about my streams. That has made them go to my channel and then follow. So you kind of need the multiple platforms to help grow each other, to help your following and like your presence and brand spread out more. So that's why I encourage you to guys to like, you know, use multiple platforms, which is, you know, like how you guys are saying using TikTok. That's another thing I guess should probably do to help grow it. But I'm just like, I'm pulling the I'm old and too lazy to do it kind of thing. So this has been like using the old algorithm. So algorithms gonna be kind of it's actually really important, but the algorithm's interesting, and I've been trying to figure out some of them. Like Instagram is kind of like, I don't know if you've heard, but Instagram's kind of algorithm is kind of crazy. It's like, doesn't make sense. You'll post something and like, let's say someone follows you, they'll see like, let's say you post like 3 things in like 3 different days. It will like lead them to your, like, I think your least recent post first, instead of like your newest one. So it kind of throws people off, because like I've had people be like, oh yeah, I like that art piece you did. And I was like, I posted that like 3 days ago. He's like, I just saw it in my feed. It's kind of weird. So the algorithm for Instagram's a little weird. I've been trying to figure it out to like help. I just know like I definitely need to post at certain times to get as many, you know, likes and people seeing eyes on it as I can. Whereas Twitter is super time-based and hashtag based. Because you'll like, you know, you constantly see on Twitter the trending. I'm kind of scared to bring up Twitter because I don't know what's trending. I'm like, I don't know if I want to show what's trending right now. I don't know. It says on Twitter right now, earthquake is trending. I guess there's an earthquake. Did I miss that? But
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Gotcha. But another thing that I guess I can show you kind of through Twitter that's cool to do, or like good to look at, is you can look at your analytics, and this kind of helps in finding out if like the hashtags you used help to get more likes and stuff like that. So it'll summarize it by month, and you'll get like, you know, profile visits, mentions, all that good stuff. But what's kind of cool is you can even break it down. So let me shrink this, break it down more to see like, you know, how many engagements you got and profile clicks and all that good stuff. So like checking this stuff out, like your analytics, sometimes will help you determine what you might want to post more of to help grow your brand and stuff. Instagram has it too, but it's only on your phone, and I think it's called Insights. But if you can look up sometimes analytics like Blogspot, Tumblr, I used to put that application that would actually show what people in the part of the world or check out your Blogspot or Tumblr, and that would actually help me because it would help me determine what time zone I should pay attention to, maybe to upload art, which is kind of helpful. Like same when I was streaming on Twitch, I found out most of my audience is West Coast and East Coast, so I'd have to like try to time my streams to where it wasn't too late for East Coasters, but not too early for West Coasters. And that actually helps when you're posting your art on any social media, is finding out where your fan base is, so you know what time zone to pay attention to. Which is why, besides hashtags, which is super important because you need to know like what's trending and what big hashtags lead to your art. So just a real quick tip with hashtags, like on kind of like Instagram. So on Instagram, you kind of want to balance it. It'll show you how many posts or like things use that hashtag. So like, let's say you put like hashtag I don't know, cartoon, and it says like, it'll say like 1 million. That's a lot. So you don't want it to like get buried within that millions of people who've tagged cartoon. You want to actually balance it. So have some that are in the millions and some that are only in like the 100,000s. So like you can put like hashtag cartoon, hashtag drawing, and maybe drawing only has like 200,000, and you want to like balance it that way it can actually be seen. I learned that kind of in the early on, because before I was like, what if I pick all of them with like millions of hashtags? And my friend was like, no, it gets buried in the pool of all those people who use that hashtag. So you actually want to use some that are a little less, so it balances and it's used in both. I've also had a few people call me out and they're like, that's not concept art. I'm like, oh my god, dude. It's like, really? Coming out of the woodworks for this one. So I'm actually careful which ones I put concept art and biz dev on. I don't know, whatever. And then keep time in mind. That's what I was talking about. Like if you know where your audience is, for me, since I know it's West Coast, East Coast, I post usually first thing in the morning. That's when I seem to get the most like eyes on it and most likes and retweets or whatever.
On weekdays or weekends?
Weekdays.
Or is it? Okay.
Okay, so funny enough, Mondays are I can actually kind of break it down because I've tested certain days. Monday's a pretty big day in the morning because I think everyone's starting their week, so they get on social media first thing in the morning. Oddly enough, Fridays I don't have that much luck with. I think because people are just going to work and they're trying to get stuff done and enjoy their weekend. So Fridays, I don't usually post too much on Fridays, except for my storyboarding thing I posted on Friday, which is weird. But like other things I posted on Fridays don't do as well as if I post on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Those do better, but for some reason Friday just isn't as popular. Same with streaming. Don't stream on Friday nights. People are doing things, especially now that COVID's kind of lightened up. People are out enjoying their lives again. Yeah, and then so yeah, Monday's a good day. I feel like Monday through Thursday is good. Sundays I feel like is more popular than Saturday. Like I said, I think it's because people get up on Saturdays and go do stuff. Nighttime, like I said, it always has to be morning for me. I've tried lunch. It doesn't get as much likes always as if I did it first thing in the morning. And then if it's nighttime, I feel like it's just like it takes a little longer to build up to what it usually is. It doesn't build up as fast, but like nighttime, usually I'll just like, if I finish a piece at nighttime, I'll just wait till morning and post it in the morning. And then definitely keep track of holidays. People actually like be doing other things on holidays, so they might not look as much. Like I think I accidentally posted something on Super Bowl Sunday and it like totally went totally unnoticed. I was like, oops. I know it's not an official holiday, but Super Bowl stuff and like even like 4th of July or stuff like that. You could put like 4th of July art, but I think most people are out enjoying their 4th of July, so they're not on social media. Especially with Twitter, because Twitter gets like, if it doesn't get like a hook kind of quick, it kind of just gets buried and unnoticed. Because Twitter's like constantly people are posting stuff, different hashtags. Which is why like when I'm saying like you want to check what's trending on Twitter, you actually do want to pay attention to that. Like for example, and the wave might be ending kinda. Like if you did any fan art of turning red right now, you'd probably get a lot of likes because like that hashtag's like kind of doing its thing right now. But it's like stuff like that. You have like if I always kind of tell people when they're first starting, you kind of have to play the game a little bit because you want to like ride the certain waves for people to notice your stuff to start following you. So for example, when I was first growing mine, I actually was doing a lot of fan art. Fan art's fine. I know like people always question me like, should I have fan art in my portfolio? I say like if you're going to have it kind of in your portfolio, have a separate tab for it. and then have your own stuff on another tab on your website. But doing fan art to help grow your social media is not a bad thing. Honestly, it kind of helps. Like let's say you want to redesign a character that already exists. It kind of takes that stress off of like, what should I draw? Because then you could just kind of focus on more the style and like, hey, how can I mess with the shape language to change this character? So I actually encourage people to like, yeah, if you want to do fan art for a little bit to grow your social media, go for it. Yeah, I definitely like, I recommend that. Like me, fan art was like the big thing at first until the educational stuff started kicking in, and then I realized that was a spark. And then my comics, which I think on one of my slides I kind of explained how my brand works. But yeah, so like keep in mind the time, even time zones. So that's what I was saying. Like if you have a lot of people like that are in Europe following you, you gotta keep track of like what time they get logged on and all that stuff. And then I already went over the days of the week. Likes and comments. The reason I put this on the algorithm, a lot of things depend on your likes to keep it within the algorithm to keep it showing. So like people on YouTube, you know, they always have that hit that like button and subscribe button. Yeah, like that's actually really important for them. The more it's liked, likes are actually more important than subscribers now, which is crazy, but I mean, that's what it is. The more you like a YouTube video or like Instagram post or anything like that, it like will stay kind of more relevant in the like, let's say you go to the discovery page of Instagram or Twitter, it'll stay more relevant because it's getting more likes. Same with comments. I think I found out from a buddy, like you want people to actually comment on your pieces because it's the same. It'll keep it kind of in that algorithm. And it also depends on the length of comments now. So I guess like you want people to actually say words like this art piece looks good. And then like, it's up to you, which I'm still trying to work on. Cause like I say, I post and ghost. If you are constantly keeping engaged with the comments as well, that keeps it in the algorithm too. Cause it's like the comments are still adding up. So it's like keeping it in that algorithm. So likes and comments are important. And then sharing and retweets. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. When things are getting shared and retweeted, it's going to more people to then see and like and then retweet it too. But here's what I always tell people, because I don't know, I feel kind of I kind of feel like it sucks that it disconnects. When you're on Twitter, if you quote retweet, it actually disconnects from the original post. So those likes don't go to the original post. So I usually just retweet and reply, like, you know, in the comments, because I don't want to like cut off their connection of likes. So I just tell people, I mean, if you can, just retweet it and then reply. And then subs more relates to you know, Twitch, Patreon. That's going to be kind of, you know, if you're trying to, I guess I always say like if you're trying to work off your social medias and be kind of, that's your life, subs are going to be important in like Patreon and Twitch because that's where your money comes from. And then if people like what you're doing for your subs, they'll usually spread the word, and that'll help you also grow your brand, kind of stuff like that. And then this is what works for my brand, just for me looking at my posts and likes and stuff. Tutorials are kind of like the big one. Anytime I do comics of myself, that seems to be kind of pretty popular. And then I call them character post pages. They're just model sheets. But these are the things that I've noticed are kind of big for my brand that help me, that gets the most likes. So anytime it's weird. I guess like people like free knowledge, you know, who would have known? But yeah, so anytime I do tutorials, they just take a while, which is why I haven't done any recently, but they just like, plus I'm one of those people, I want to make sure it's right. Cause the last thing I want to do is post a tutorial and it's wrong. And then comics are kind of just like, if I have time, just like about my life and stuff. But I guess people they like seeing the sequential images and stuff. So I've already learned the hard way, and I spent time on this rendering this piece for like, I don't know, a couple of days. No one liked it. And then I drew like a dumb, simple comic and I was like, yeah. So like that happens. It's just like once people kind of like you, for your fan base likes you for a certain thing, that's what they kind of like you for. I mean, you can venture out, of course, it's your art. I'm not saying like just draw that all the time, but I mean, the important thing is like draw and post what you would like, what makes you happy. But if like you realize, if you're trying to grow it and you see what people are attaching to, like try to keep, you know, repeating those posts and doing stuff like that, because that's what's getting your social media to grow. Like me personally, I actually balance it. Sometimes I'll do a piece on purpose to try to get more followers and like, you know, grow my brand. And then sometimes I'll just like, so I'll try to do a piece that will help that, and then a piece that's just for me. And then I was like, I don't care if it gets likes, I did this for me. So I try to balance it. That was it, because it's kind of like, if you're always focused on like what should I draw for other people, you're just gonna stress you out, and you made it a job. Like it's not fun anymore. I made that mistake when I first started streaming on Twitch, where I was like, I'm only gonna stream, and then I'm gonna have them tell me what to draw, and like it was cool for like a week, but like I think second week I was about to lose my mind because I was like, I'm like, my friend was like, don't do that. Like you're doing the dance monkey dance routine. Like you got to be careful. Like because then you're streaming and you're stressing yourself out because you're doing what everyone tells you, not what you want to do. Like you're supposed to stream to like, you know, talk and draw, but also like enjoy yourself. If you're making another job and stressing yourself out, what's the point? So I was like, yeah, you're right. So I started like just drawing what I wanted to draw. But at the very beginning, I was like, what should I draw, guys? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so over this. Like if I got to draw one more thing I don't want to draw. So that's kind of like what works for my brand. And then future plans, because I've been thinking about like what else I do want to do. I do want to start a webtoon. I've been trying to start one for a bit, but it's like, it's got to be something simple because I'm just so busy right now. And I guess I didn't really go into detail of like, I guess like there's other things that I'm kind of doing now because actually the freelance I'm doing is what's taking up my time. I'm working on an unannounced project, but what's cool is like the guy found me that wanted me to do the freelance. He found me through my Instagram. So that's what's kind of cool. Like all this building your brand stuff and like really getting your social media out there really does help you get jobs. Even when I try to help people that I may know try to get jobs themselves, I'm linking like recruiters and the showrunners to their Twitters. So getting stuff out there is really important. A lot of people are like, you know, be like, well, is it? And I'm like, yes, it is. You don't even necessarily always have to have like a complete assembled portfolio. It's just you need to have something out there that they could see and be like, you know what, I like their stuff. I think they could work on our show. I mean, even now when I submit stuff for my job or like to get another job, it's just a link to a G Drive folder. It's not even a website anymore. It's like I have some of my work samples. It links to my G Drive and they can check it out there. So yeah, I tell people just, you know, definitely, you know, update your social media and have stuff going that may catch the eye of someone who may want to work with you. And it's not even just storyboards. Like the reason why I put the merch stuff is like, let's say you want to be a t-shirt designer. Like, let's say someone sees your stuff on Redbubble and is like, yo, this person can make some cool tees. Why don't we hire them? Like, I had someone approach me on Behance about NFTs. And like I said, I don't know anything. But they're like, do you want to work on some NFTs? And I'm like, I don't know enough and no. But that's what I'm saying. Like, just having your stuff on any kind of social media may lead you to getting a job in something, you know, you may not even thought of. Like, what if, you know, you're doing t-shirts? What if someone sees your comic you're doing on Webtoon, so they hire you to do a children's book? Like, it can lead to stuff you weren't expecting. So like having that stuff up there will definitely, you know, help you get chances of you know, getting a job out there. So yeah, like real quick, last thing is like I was thinking doing Webtoon, and then I'm thinking doing a Patreon too, just to like, I don't know, have people subscribe to maybe behind the scenes stuff of what I make and doing more portfolio reviews. I've been trying to figure that out, but we'll see. And then, I just kind of like wanted to put some words of wisdom of stuff like you should post. I have a lot of friends that won't post like their work in progress. I kind of actually suggest you do. A lot of people actually like seeing your rough art, and sometimes it'll get more likes than your clean art, which is crazy. It's also kind of frustrating because it's like I almost spent a whole week cleaning it, but okay. But I feel like, and I was kind of explaining this before, to some other people, I feel like what it is, when people see your thought processes and your rough work, they can relate to it more. So they're like, yeah, I remember, you know, I feel like I'll see, like, I'll draw that construction before I get to a clean piece. Whereas if you're that person that's always, which people like, but if you're always posting like super high res painterly pieces, I think a lot of people get intimidated, which I hear a lot actually. They're like, yeah, I want to, you know, post my art, but there's so much good stuff out there and I'm not good and blah, blah. I'm like, dude, like, I always tell people this, it's like, don't let it discourage you, let it motivate you. That's how I work. If I see really good art, it actually makes me want to draw. But I feel like, especially like, you know, with a lot of newcomers and people trying to get in, they get intimidated very quick and they're like, I'm not good. And it's like, at the same time too, you have to like keep working at it and not, you know, you gotta be patient sometimes. It's not going to just poof, you're good. Like you have to keep drawing and improve yourself and, you know, see where your weaknesses are and strengthen them. I mean, I had to do it too. I mean, that's what I was telling you guys before, like of my hiccups in my career where like, you know, I failed a test for Teen Titans Go, but I saw where I was weak and took a course and like stuff like that to strengthen myself to get better. So like, yeah, just don't let good stuff intimidate you. Like post like, post your roughs, post your work in progress if you like. You just never know who might really like your stuff and seeing your thought process. I mean, I think, was it recently, even when I was they were hitting me up for a job for like you guys know the new Proud family. They actually wanted to see gesture drawings of like people, like
Really?
rough gesture drawings. Yeah. But I didn't have any. He was like,
okay.
yeah, it was like one of the things he specifically put in the email. And I was like, I mean, that's great. I mean, if I drew more of that stuff, I would totally post it. But that's what I'm saying. You never know who's like actually looking for that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like anything, like let's say you want to storyboard for like, or work on a show like Young Justice or something that's more anatomy based, they'd probably want to see you could draw that stuff. Or any like, you want to work for Marvel Comics or DC Comics, they'd want to see that stuff. So you never know.
That's fair.
So I feel like, yeah, I was like, don't be afraid to post that stuff. Oh, also though, be careful about nudity because you actually will get in trouble on some sites for that. So just be careful. I have to tell people that because they forget. And like someone tried to show me their portfolio on Twitch and it had nudity. My friend's like, Nick, you gotta get it off now. So yeah, just be careful with that. But other than that, yeah, like drawing that stuff and all that does work. And then what else was I gonna say about some weird when you're starting off? Oh yeah, I think just saying earlier before, don't stress yourself out about it. Don't be that person that posts something and stares at it for all day. It'll take its toll. Like just post, do it for you. Don't always try to do every post to be like, I need it to grow immediately. So yeah, just be patient. Like for me, like I said, my social media didn't grow right away either. I was just posting stuff because it's what I wanted to do. So, but if you're trying to get a job or something, definitely like focus on, and if you need to focus on your portfolio and getting all that stuff done. But like, if you're like, don't post everything, be like, it's gonna get me a job. Like, you gotta calm down. I've been there before. I think Jim, you probably have too in the beginning. Oh, yeah. But it's like, you just have to like breathe. Don't get it. Like, realize it's okay.
Let me ask you a super specific question. So like looking at your Instagram and your Twitch and your Twitter and everything, you have a very clear personal drawing style that is like uniquely yours. And when people look at your work, it's like, okay, I see what Nick is doing. I see what he draws like. I see kind of like his brand of drawing. How did you develop that? How did you decide kind of this is the way that I want to draw, and this is the way that I want to offer my services in this kind of style?
Gotcha. Yeah, actually, I think it was a hybrid of working on all the shows I've worked on. I remember specifically my mouth and teeth shape that I draw myself with came from Trolls. So like those like round teeth and stuff. I think at some point, like even with this presentation, just like the way I draw draw myself now, it was just I think it was just like taking and I tell people this even when they're coming up with their own styles, you kind of take stuff that you like and you kind of Frankenstein it all together and stuff just kind of sticks. And I think it's just like when I finally got everything I like together and I draw the style I draw, it's like what I'm just kind of comfortable with, and that's how I draw it. And so when I realized people liked that kind of brand and style, I kind of just like stuck with it, and I'll try to push the shapes every now and then. But I definitely know I'm notorious for the big eyes and big mouth because I've been told that like numerous times. Mm-hmm. But I think to me too, it's also part of who I am. Like I'm always like, like all the time. So like when I'm drawing the drawings and facial stuff I'm doing, I'm usually making those faces too. So like, no one's around, but like, it's just, I think how I feel on the inside is like what I end up drawing. Cause like, I just want all that expression and stuff when I'm drawing my characters. And so that I think that's where a lot of it comes from. And then I think just keeping that style to educate people, I kind of wanted to make sure it was kind of like a welcoming everyone style, which is like, now that I've defined my brand, I can't even like, I've told people this before, like if I like, let's say hypothetically, I want to do not safe for work stuff, I'd have to start a whole new account with like a whole like anonymous, like I'd have to probably wear a mask or something. I don't know. It's just funny to me because like, I've definitely defined myself to the point where like if I swear on my streams, we're like, ooh, Nick. like it's like crazy. But I think once I realized like it's just kind of welcoming to everyone, I kind of kept that style.
So would you have any advice for somebody who is graduating from art school and has been through probably a 2-year or 4-year intensive program, but is now the world is suddenly like open, and now they can kind of do anything they want, but they have to get started somewhere. Like, what at that very precarious time, what would you say to a graduating student?
Oh, to like trying to break in and like,
Yeah.
I would say definitely apply when you see things. I would say once again, be patient, because I remember being in that shoes. But also, like, I feel like if that's the case, like how we started, why not look at those smaller studios first? You do learn so much being in those smaller studios. So I recommend, like, maybe, definitely apply when you see those openings for the ones you aim for, but maybe try something that's like a smaller realm first and building your way up to it. I know some people are lucky enough to break in. That's their first gig. It's like, my first gig was Nickelodeon, but for the people like that's not, I just like, maybe if you could find like maybe design houses that are smaller kind of in your area, and maybe you could break it to those and then build up. I know like, someone recommended me this is like let's say gaming apps are always looking for like designers. So if you even want to start with like mobile stuff first, where maybe you're designing little characters for a world. Because that's how we got our start, was designing characters for like this online world. I think I would honestly just suggest like maybe looking smaller first and then building up.
I agree with that. And to that point, there are so many smaller studios that are popping up right now, especially in the time of COVID. Like that when you watch the credits of your favorite show, whether it's Craig of the Creek or Loud House or whatnot, you can usually see the credits of the animation studio. You can usually see like, oh, this is Jamfield, or this was Atomic, or this was Mercury, and then you can go to that place's website and see if they're looking for people too. So like watching the credits of your favorite shows, you can find out what those small studios are, the small vendor places are, and then look at their websites.
Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes you'll find out these little indie studios that are doing amazing things, because it's like they get to just do what they want to do. I feel like sometimes you just need to like, I think people hone in so much of like, I gotta be at Disney right away. It's like maybe look, look smaller first. So that's, wow. Sorry, I hit spacebar.
Oh yeah. So I've been collecting the questions too, so I was going to pepper them.
Go for it.
So Emma specifically says, I'm applying to studios every day. Only landed 2 freelance storyboarding jobs. Recently got 150th rejection email. Congratulations, by the way. I think we've all kind of been there. I bet 150 is a reasonable number, I think. I've been trying to work on my portfolio every day, but it feels like it's worse than it was 2 years ago. Networking, talking to as many people as I can, applying. What is she doing wrong?
I know I'd have to see maybe the work in front of me, because that's why I usually try to do those portfolio reviews to help people out, because that's kind of the most important thing if you for us as storyboard artists, is getting that feedback from when you see someone's work and be like, hey, you're actually making, like for me, when I first started storyboarding and I didn't see the work, like my mistakes, I thought it was fine until someone's like, dude, that's a jump cut, the continuity's messed up here, your hookup shot's way messed up. So like, if anything, if you could find someone, or like if you know someone who's really into storyboarding, or you could find them to give you feedback, that might really help you. There might be stuff in your boards you're not seeing yourself that are mistakes that are probably preventing you from getting hired. But other than that, it sounds like if you're working on your portfolio, you're definitely doing that part. Maybe there's something you're missing in your portfolio though.
So if somebody wanted to get that kind of feedback from a professional, or from are there Discord groups that they could join? Is it okay to email professionals? Like what would you recommend people seek out that criticism, or seek out that feedback?
I know me. When I had time and there were enough people, because I feel like a lot of people weren't submitting, I would do like once a month portfolio reviews, but I'm trying to think otherwise. Because I know we have our storyboarding Discord, but I don't know if it's for professionals only. I don't know how that works.
Are you talking about the animation story group?
Yeah, is that just for professionals, or is that for people coming up too?
Animation story group is for professionals and non-professionals alike. I think that was started by Jake Hollander.
So that'd probably be a good reference. Yeah, because Jake's a good guy. Like, and there's a lot of people in there, so I definitely recommend that. Other than that, if you're not looking to take more courses, even taking another course would help too. It helped me, because I was only doing vague storyboarding at the small studio I was at, but once I took a course and like got that live feedback and even like pushed myself even more in that course, it helped. So besides like Jake's group that is actually really focused on that, I mean, even like if you need to take more courses, I don't know. It depends financially too, though. But I mean, I'd recommend that too as well. Um, if you do know anyone in the industry, it might help. I don't know. Like trying to approach people for reviews kind of hard, especially because you don't know how busy they are. And that's another tip too. If people aren't getting back to you, like don't freak out. They might just be busy. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh God, I've messed up. It's like they might be busy. Same with like when you apply for jobs and you never hear anything back, it's the same thing. But yeah, I guess that'd be my general advice is like the story artist Discord we know.
And don't make the mistake that I made when I went to CTN and Craig McCracken was selling his Wander Over Yonder sketchbooks before the show even came out. And then he was selling his books and I dropped my portfolio right on his table and was like, hey, could I have a portfolio review? And it was the most awkward 5 minutes I've ever experienced because he did not want it was like, and my portfolio was not good at all too. He was struggling for something to say. That was nice.
Yeah, be careful with that. Like hopefully when COVID lightens up and conventions are back on, I was actually doing that too. I would have people just come up for storyboard reviews. If they're cool enough, I mean, I was pretty cool, or people were cool with me. I would review their portfolio and they'd just buy a pin. So you
That's
could
cool.
do stuff like that. Yeah, like I've only had one guy and I thought it was actually kind of rude because he showed me like this, like it took like 30 minutes of my time, but he showed me like a whole animatic, I gave him a bunch of feedback and then he just bounced. He's like, I gotta get to something, and then he like left and I was like, okay. But other than that, everyone is actually really nice. So yeah, if like when conventions are actually kicking back up and if you have any in your area, going to people who will do reviews. I mean, they have reviews there too, but if you're like, if you can meet other artists that are cool enough to be like, yeah, I'll review your stuff, and you're cool enough to just buy something from them, they're usually cool with it. So that's usually how I mean, even me, that's how it would work. It's like if I asked for a review, I'd be like, hey, I'll take that pin. Like, you know what I mean?
And do you have any advice for if somebody is asking a professional for advice or asking for a portfolio review? I mean, getting feedback is an extremely, like, it can be kind of a painful thing, when somebody's telling you that like you have jump cuts or you're breaking the 180 and and they're being pretty honest with you. Do you have any advice for how to take that feedback?
Yeah, I remember my early college days, dude. I did not take criticism well. I remember this guy was like, and it was just typography class. He was like, "You're typing, your art is terrible." Like he was like, my ink work was terrible, and I remember being like, "How dare you? I am Nick Parris," whatever. But no, it's just like, don't take it personal and look at it more as an I say just look at it as this professional is taking the time to actually give me feedback and they're being honest with me. And like it's something I can actually use to improve my work instead of because to be honest, I think people that's the problem. People who get the sugarcoating don't usually grow as much because like they're not getting that honest feedback. It's like, yeah, this is good. I mean, what does that tell them? It's like, yeah, that's unless it's actually like, I mean, I've had portfolios where I'm like, honestly, this is amazing. I don't have many notes, but like, and I'll try to find something, but I'm just honest with them. But like, if there's someone who really wants feedback and like is having trouble, I'll try to like be honest with them. And then yeah, if you get criticism like that yourself, you have to have that thick skin. You have to realize like, one, some people are just bad at communicating. Like they just are. It's like, man. And then you have to remember too, maybe they've been reviewing a lot of things, so they're just like like here's your feedback, next. So you kind of have to like just like have a thick skin and like, but take it in as like, at least they took the time to actually give you feedback. I mean, that's how I would recommend taking, because I remember, like I said, at first I used to be very sensitive, like, how dare you? But now I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Like I could do this, and then maybe I could change this too. And it's like, it kind of helps me. Or like it motivates me more than it used to. I used to be like, I mean, I'm sure you've had moments like that too, Jim, where it's like, oh crap, that hurt. But it's like, wait, no, I see what they're saying. Because you're when you're doing something for so long and it's only in your mind, you kind of think it's perfect sometimes. And then it's like people pointed out, it's like, holy crap, they're right. Like this would make it better in the long run. So.
And in my mind, I'm not even able to process it, what the feedback is. And the only thing going through my brain is just smile and nod and say, okay, thank you. And then like write down what they're saying and then think about it later, just smile and nod. And it's the same thing with getting executive notes on an animatic or something. It's like, okay, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Take a look at it and not react to anything or not come up with like, not say like, oh, I I thought of it this way, like just smile and nod the whole time and then take that feedback in and then work on it later.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you have to have that quick cut of you crying in the shower in the fetal position, but then get back up and be fine. Yep. It's like, oh my god. No, I get what you're saying. It's honestly sometimes, yeah, I'm with you too, because it'll be just so much too that they're putting in. It's like, okay. Then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, when somebody really goes in for like 15 minutes on your work, it's like, oh boy, okay, and like you start dissociating and just do just playing in your head like, oh no, this is hurtful, and I'm oof.
Get that Doctor Strange like out of body experience.
Yep. Paulette had an interesting question. You touched on it a bit earlier, but Paulette was curious if you ever feel like you have to rein in social media management in order to focus on your career development. There's situations like they're starting to stream and VTube on other social medias, but also trying to break in professionally at the same time. And Paulette is worrying about whether doing the social media stuff will detract from portfolio and career development. Is there a way to do both at the same time, or is it kind of one and the other?
Oh, I mean, honestly, that's making your portfolio while streaming is actually really cool. I always say it's kind of awesome and easy to do, because when you're doing your portfolio, it's not NDA. Like there's so many times of like, if I could stream my boards for work, I'd probably get more done. But it's like, no, it's just since you're doing stuff for yourself, the cool thing is like you can stream yourself doing that, and it will also help you build, not only because you'll like, let's say you really want to motivate yourself, and because I find this too, like sometimes streaming helps me focus more, because it's the fact that like as an artist and you're streaming, you kind of have to draw to keep your audience. So like, let's say you're like, I need to make my own portfolio, but I also want to stream it. You can be like, okay, 3 days of the week I'll stream and I'll work on my portfolio on those 3 streams. It'll kind of help you like almost give yourself a work day too, because you're focused on that, doing your portfolio pieces on stream while keeping your because like I said, it's like all kind of like performance at the same time, because you have to keep your audience engaged. Like most of the time, like people who are watching art streams are wanting to watch people draw. It helps motivate them to draw too. Because I'll have people in my chat all the time like, Nick, watching you draw makes me want to draw. And I'm like, go for it then. And like, like you can share drawings at the end, but something about that keeps you motivated to draw. Like the only reason I don't do it is everything I do is NDA. Like I can't do it. So, but yeah, you can easily grow both at the same time. And just use every piece that you're streaming to put in your portfolio. So it's pretty easy to like combine them.
Do you have any advice for somebody or for the times when it's hard to draw, when it's hard to get up and do it? Or do you have any advice on like when you get burnouts and you feel guilty that you should be drawing? Is there any way to get over it, or you just kind of like acknowledge it and move on?
For me, because I think I acknowledge full burnout because of the pandemic and being home all the time. I think I just need to like step away. I think the mistake is like some people are like, I'm guilty, I gotta power through it, and it's like it doesn't always work out. But if I was gonna say like let's say, well, for work it's like mandatory, so like you have to push through it because it's deadlines. But like let's say it's your own stuff, and this is where I bring up like, let's say you're trying to grow your social media and you want to just draw something without stressing too much. That's actually why I advise fan art. Fan art, the characters and stuff are already designed for you and they're already there. At that point, you're just figuring out like, how can you redraw them and what composition you want to put them in. But it's like, it takes that like, what should I draw stress off of your plate. So that's why sometimes I'll do fan art, because it's just fun to do. And then like, I didn't have to think about it. Like, I think the last one I did, or maybe my like last really popular one was Dexter's Lab. And I just drew him like older and Dee Dee in different like ballet clothes. But like, what was crazy about that is even the voice actress for Dee Dee hit me up and was like, this is awesome. And I was like, what the? And I didn't even know, because my friend was like, dude, did you see the comment? Like the voice actress said Dee Dee hit you up. And I was like, but like the reason I was doing that, because I was like, I kind of was like, what should I draw? And I was like, well, Dexter's already designed, but how can I redesign it? And it was just like a nice, like kind of relaxing kind of exercise for me. So if you are feeling burnout of like always needing to do something, I always advise like, why not draw something that already exists? And then like, not only that, it does help your social media grow because people like fan art. Which is like, yeah. So
there's just super low pressure for yourself. It's just,
yeah, exactly. Because like the main part's already done for you. You're just kind of redesigning it or doing what you want with it. So I mean, if you really need to work there, but honestly, with everyone I've talked to about burnout, and even like other professionals I've talked to, and I'm probably sure you know, it's like most of them are like, dude, you just gotta step away for a little bit, maybe take a walk, like clear your mind, because like sometimes trying to power through it makes it worse. So it's like, but like I said, me, because I'm weird. I tell people this all the time because they're like, wait, how do you draw after work? I'm like, because drawing is what relaxes me. It's really dumb, but like storyboarding for some reason stresses me out, and like drawing my own stuff relaxes me. But I'll just draw something that, you know, either draw something for myself or draw some fan art or something. And it'll kind of like take the stress off. I think because it's just art for me was always escapism since I was a kid. So that's it's still there. Whereas some people are like, I just have to like not draw at all. But I definitely have days like that too. Like I tell people I don't draw every single day. I'll have days where I'm like on Netflix way longer, or YouTube. Like I think one time I was just trying to look up something. Actually, for this presentation, I was just trying to look up I was actually trying to look at the analytics for my Twitter and ended up looking at a bunch of art, and I was like, wait a second. I was supposed to be looking at analytics. So that happens too. But yeah, your mental health is really important too if you want to do art. It's all connected. So you know, just keep that in mind.
A couple of follow-up housekeeping questions. Will you ever make a post or slides of how to do character design? Because some of your stuff is real cool.
One, thank you. And two, I've thought about it. I just have to like, there's so many good character designers who do their character design stuff and like really break it down. So for me, character design, I'm like, I guess I'd have to look at what's already out there and maybe see how my approach is a little different and actually worth making the slides for. I have shown on my, like, I'll show people my shape silhouette technique that I do to make characters. So maybe, I mean, that is one thing maybe I could do as a character design thing, because I know a lot of people have been interested in my character designs. It's just like I said, there's just so much, because Steven Silver has his course, and then like there's like tons of character design books. So I've been just trying to figure out I guess what's different enough. I feel like my book won't be as long though, because there's so many good character design books out there. But I could make it like a quick slide if you want.
I think maybe people would enjoy that. I think it would be received pretty well.
Yeah, but I could totally do that someday. I've done it before on one of my posts. I can't find it, but I put like the silhouette to rough to clean. Like I made like it was like 3 slides.
Gotcha. Well, people are asking if these slides are going to be available else or anywhere. If you were going to put this up on a Gumroad or something like that.
Yeah, I'll probably put them on my Gumroad. So yeah, if you guys want to keep track of more things I'm like selling or, you know, putting up for people to just 0+ buy, you know, that whole thing, I'll put it on Gumroad. I know my friend was suggesting doing Ko-fi because, like I said, the NFT thing is so weird to me. But he's like, they said they support NFTs and people are hating Gumroad. I was like, I guess. I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. I don't know. I'm bad at that stuff. It's like, I'm so much in my bubble sometimes with work. It's like, I'm literally like, if the world was on fire, I wouldn't know till I walk outside. But yeah, it'll be on my Gumroad. I plan on, and I actually do want to do a part 2 to Let's Learn Storyboarding. I kind of want to go more in depth with like people's questions of like, you know, maybe the simple things like how rough is too rough for a board, stuff like that. It's just finding the time, but I'll keep in mind for the character design. I do want to do another storyboarding thing. I don't know. There's like stuff I want to do. I just gotta find time for it. Like, another thing. I mean, if you can get the fan base enough as doing a Kickstarter for any project you want to do, that's a huge thing. I thought of doing a small one, like help me get these pins made for like $1,000. And be like, yes, I made it. Like a really small
achievable goals for the first bit.
Like very small. But it's just like, you know, making sure I have the time and stuff. That's the same with Patreon. I didn't want to start a Patreon, and it's like, what am I uploading? A picture of my cat. It's so secret. I don't know. It's weird, but I've been trying to figure that stuff out. But I would like to actually do more stuff. But yeah, if you guys follow my Gumroad or any of my social, I'll definitely post when I do new stuff. But I'll keep the character design thing in mind. I didn't think about that. It might not be too hard. I could compile the stuff I've already done. So I will keep that in mind.
Do you want to plug your socials since we're here?
Oh, sure. Actually, they're all plugged in this one site, linktree. So this is also helpful. Oh, real quick tip. I was going to say, if you're doing social medias, if you could get the same handle for all your social medias, it's actually really helpful. So the problem is if someone stole my handle on Instagram, I'm like mad about it because their name's spelled with a K. And they took my name, I think because someone else took theirs, but they dropped their K and all they posted are hunting pictures. And then I think people got mad and so they made it private. But I was very upset because he took my name, but it's not even his name. His has a K. Yeah, if you go to Linktree/Nick Parris, it's all here. So you'll see this and it has like everything. But I did this just to be, you know, make it easier for everybody. Because it was just like having the constantly like, yeah, like I think the only one, well, yeah, because Nick Mundo's my Twitch handle, and I think it's just because Nick Parris sounded boring. Come watch Nick Parris stream.
Something more gamery, something more.
Yeah, so fancy. I put Nick. I don't know. Nick Mundo was this weird name that I came up with a long time ago. I think because of Telemundo, I put Nick Mundo. So a lot of people actually think I'm like from like a Spanish country because of my name. Like, you speak Spanish, right? I'm like, no. I used to speak a little bit in high school, but now I'm done. But yeah, that's so I put everything in one place. So for you guys who are trying to grow your social media, you want everything in one place. There's Linktree, and then I think there's like it's one called like business card or something. There's like a bunch, or there's a few. So card. Yeah, it's just called card. So there's Linktree or card, and you can put all your social medias, like I said, on one page. It's just easier for everybody. And then especially since Instagram only has one link allowed, it's just useful. So I don't know.
Awesome. Well, Nick, any following thoughts? Anything else you want to wrap up with?
I think the general thing I always tell people is you know, if you're really trying to break in and get in, don't give up. Keep going for it. Keep drawing. Keep seeing how you can improve. Even I myself, because of recent, like, you know, job stuff and trying to improve my painting skills. So you know, there's always more to learn, and like, if this is what you want, don't get discouraged. Don't let it unmotivate you to see good art. Like, let it motivate you to get better.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Nick. Thank you for doing this. Thank you so much for doing this. This has been awesome. We'll see if the recording goes up publicly. I still have to figure that out a little bit. And a couple of closing things. We're gonna do more of these. We're gonna have I'm doing one on pitching boards on April 2nd. So look for that. We're gonna have Sam King do one. And Sam is a director on Molly McGee, who made the leap from production, actually started as a PA on Puss in Boots at DreamWorks, and made the leap from production to artist. So I want to talk to her about that. And then we are probably going to do a special one with hopefully Rachel Ashley from Nickelodeon Recruiting is going to come talk about what they look for in portfolios and how she finds people, and what she's looking for when she goes to somebody's website, when she goes to somebody's work to potentially hire them. So look for that. Just follow the @Story Mentorship Twitter account. All that stuff will start there, and you can get informed. Nick, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this, dude. This has been fantastic. This has been amazing.
Yeah, no problem. And to everyone out there, good luck. Thanks for stopping by.
Everybody, have a great rest of the weekend.